What's up guys, it's Zach with Weapon Works. As you guys know, we're the East Coast satellite training facility for Cerakote. Today we have our friend Jalen from CH Precision here and our head instructor Eric, and we're running through day number 2. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an insight on how day number 2 goes. We're doing custom projects today, so let's go check it out.
All right, so we've got our items disassembled. The next step is to do the degreasing. So we've got our 3 parts here, just 3 pistol slides. We're gonna lift up this tray, set these inside, and then drop it down into our simple green to start the degreasing process. We'll put the lid over top, and let's set the timer for 20 minutes. So in the meantime, while that's degreasing, we're gonna grab our colors, get our stencils and everything assembled, and then we'll come back and grab them. So we've got our items degreased. Let's go ahead and take them out of our ultrasonic. We're gonna lift this up, and I'm gonna have you on sync duty, Jalen. If you wanna come over here, I'm gonna pass them over to you. All you need to do is just wash them off briefly under the water, and then we're just gonna set them down on the towels. There you go. We're just getting that simple green degreasing agent off of there. Perfect. Go ahead and set them down on the towel there. So after we get these washed off, we've now introduced moisture to the equation, and to keep them from being any surface rust or any corrosion, we're gonna go ahead and air blast these off next with some air over at our hose down by the booth. So let's head on down. Next, we're gonna put these in the sandblast, but before we do that, we need to get some of that water off so we don't gunk up our media. So to do that, we're just gonna take our air hose and blast off all of that. Sorry if you can't hear it. We're gonna blast off all the moisture and evaporate it. There we go. Not too difficult. We just wanna be very, very thorough with it, making sure we get in all the little nooks and crannies, get all that moisture out as best we can. Okay. Here you go. All right, so now that the parts are all dried off and all the moisture is evaporated, we're gonna set them in our sandblaster, and we're gonna remove the existing coating so that we can then replace it with our Cerakote. Okay. So come over here, set these inside, and actually we've got a tote here, so I'll just put them in here and you can grab them as needed. There we go. All right, so we got that ready. We're gonna turn the sandblaster on. You wanna put that grounding line on just to make sure you don't get zapped. There's sometimes a little bit of a shock. All right, so the foot pedal is going to be what turns it on. We want to double check our PSI. For metal parts, which is what we have here, we're going to do 80 to 100 PSI. We're already good to go. So whenever you're set, go ahead and put your hands in the gloves and grab the items, and you're off to the races. All right, so we've got our parts already sandblasted. They're good to go. We want to make sure we're wearing gloves for this, just so we don't get any grease or anything from our skin onto the raw metal. We got to protect it. But before we get started on our coating, we want to go ahead and air blast it one more time, get all that media off of it, and get nice and clean. Okay. So we'll take these back over to our air hose, and we'll blast them off one more time. Second. So we also want to try and get in all these little holes and everything, just so we don't have any media hiding in there. Okay. The worst thing you want is to give it a good coating, and then when you move the item, a bunch of sand comes out and we'll have to start over. So try to be very thorough. There we go. Any holes you see, go ahead and run some air through it.
Should I have blasted that one more?
I think we're good to go. Let me get a closer look. I would hit this one more time. It should be okay, but let's just play it safe because we've got the sandblaster there. We'll just get a little more thorough with it. We've written down our different patterns that we're going to go with. 2 of these 3 pistol slides are going to have a base coat of armor black. So we're going to go ahead and get that brewed up and get the gun assembled. And what I like to do is have a few extra grams mixed together just so we can practice on a few of our parts to get all the jitters out before we actually move to your projects, just because it's first thing in the morning. But yeah, let's go ahead and assemble the gun. I'll get your armor black shaken while you're doing that. There you go. Go ahead and drop all the contents out. So the first item up is going to be our nozzle. There you go. Giving it a quick inspection, we want to look for 1 center hole surrounded by 6 other open holes. We just want to make sure there's no debris or blockages in any of those. There you go. Go ahead and give it a hand tighten. Once you get it tightened down all the way, we'll grab our wrench and we'll just give it 1 crank. Doesn't need to be a death grip on it, just enough that we can't remove it with our fingers. Good to go. Next up is going to be the air cap and the air cap collar.
This is
Air cap right here. There you go. I got you. There you go. Perfect. Then we'll screw on that collar. Now those wings sticking out of the front, those are going to be vertical. Yep, and just lay it down right on top. Perfect. Good to go. And doesn't need to be a death grip or anything, just enough that it's a little bit snug. After that, we're going to do our needle. We're going to push that through the back end, and there should be a little resistance once we get down to the end. Perfect. Go ahead and push through that. Awesome. That tells us that all of our internal parts are very tight and snug. There shouldn't be any leakage or anything like that. There you go. Put the buffer spring on and our fluid knob. Perfect. We'll go ahead and tighten down all of our settings to get started. Beautiful. All right. Let's go ahead and get a cleaner beaker because this one looks a little rough. I think I've got a nice one. Let's use this one right here. I'm going to make sure it's clean. I'm going to run some acetone through it on a shop towel. There we go, nice and clean. Alternatively, we could use a graduated cylinder. However, I do prefer the glass beakers just because they're easier to clean. And anytime we put acetone on the glass, we always want to hit it with some air just to make sure we don't have any residue sitting there when we pour more coating in there. Okay. Scale here, let's go ahead and turn that on. I'm going to let you take over from here. So we'll set that on the scale and we'll clear it out. Just give it a second. There you go. Go ahead and clear out that weight. Good to go. Awesome. And let's go ahead and get Armor Black ready. You remember the item code?
190.
190. There you go. Let's go ahead and reset. Perfect. And we'll be shooting for an 18-to-1 ratio for this one.
What'd you say, 80?
18-to-1 ratio. And let's do, usually I calculate about 10 grams per slide. So if we're going to do 2 of those, let's do 40 just to make sure we have a little extra and we can warm up on some of our practice parts. Perfect. Right on, 43.39. There you go. Give it 3 more drops, that ought to do it. Give it a little tap, see where we're at. 1 more drop ought to do it. There you go. Perfect, right on the money. And this is a, which mesh strainer?
150.
150. So let's go ahead and use a paper filter for this one. There you go. And go ahead and stir this up as well. Right on. Whenever you're ready, we'll go ahead and pour that through the strainer down into the cup. Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and get a few practice reps in before we go into the actual project. So we'll start off with this one.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get our settings as well on that paper, make sure we're good to go. All right, so do you remember the settings we need to go to for production work?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
There you go. So fan is gonna be 1 full turn. Very good. Fluid is gonna be 2 full turns. And then we'll look up underneath, we'll do 3 full turns for the air.
Can I come all the way open?
Good to go. Go ahead and plug it in, we'll give it a quick test. There you go. Double check one more time. Looking good. All right. So for here we're going to do what's called the octagon. This is the baseline for how we do all of our general coatings. So we're going to go at a 40-degree angle down the flat, and then a 40-degree angle up the corner. Down the flat, up the corner, all the way around for 1 full coating.
Okay.
You get out of the way. There we go. We got to change our angle, remember, 40-degree angle upward. There you go. All right, so now we'll use the light to see the reflection, get a good feel for how that coating looks. Looking good, it's a little bit heavy. I would say go a little bit faster. So right now it's taking about 1.5, 2 seconds to do a pass through. Bring that down to about 1 second and you should be okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna go the opposite direction now. We wanna start in the same spot right through here. There you go. And we're gonna go the opposite now. So up the flat and down the corner. There we go. Beautiful, looking good. There we go. Alrighty. So it's looking okay. We got to make sure we're paying attention to what we're doing as far as the pass-throughs. What looked like it happened was we went up the corner and then down this corner, and we missed this whole flat right here.
Okay.
So you always got to be mindful of where we're doing our coatings, but that's all good. That's why we're doing some practice rounds to get back into the swing of it. Let's go ahead and grab one more. So let's do that one again. We're going to go, was that height okay? Do you want me to go a little lower?
Lower.
Lower? Okay. There we go, about chest height's where we want it. So again, we're going to start right here on a unique space. That way if we ever get mixed up, we always know that we started somewhere unique and different.
Okay.
So we're going to go down the flat and then up the corner all the way around for one full coating. Since it's an octagon, we should do a total of 8 passes when it's all said and done. Yeah, go ahead and spin it around to the other side. There you go. Awesome. Let's go ahead and use that light as a reflection to give us a reading on our coating. Looking really good. I'm not seeing any lumpage that we saw in the last one, so we're doing really good here. Go ahead and put some air on it to evaporate all that solvent. Once it's looking a little more dry, we'll go ahead and give it our second coat. Beautiful. Good to go. So now we're going to switch it up. We're going to go up the flat and down the corners. Beautiful. Very good. We'll go ahead and inspect it one more time. Looking good. Nice even coating, evenly distributed, no dry patchy areas. It is a little bit drier now because we put some air on it and let it evaporate, but I'm not seeing any inconsistencies. It's looking really good.
Thank you.
You ready to go on your project?
Yep.
Cool. All right, same deal. We're going to start right here. We're going to go down the flat and up the corner. Go ahead and send it when you're ready. So now we're going to go ahead and put our stuff in the oven. We've given it a 15-minute ambient flash, so all of the solvent is now evaporated off of our coating, and now it's just the solid coating remaining that we get to put in the oven to harden. So the flashing process is just to give it enough time to dry out. It's not going to be the full cure, and you don't get the full benefit of the Cerakote till it's fully cured, but if we just dry it out or flash it, that allows us to apply more stencils or do a quick inspection if we're just doing a single color on it. So we've got our temperature set at 84, well it's about to be 85 degrees Celsius, which equates to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's good to go. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. If you want to grab your 2 parts and just put them on in there. Awesome, good to go. All right, so flash time is anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and set it for 15 minutes and then we'll check on them. There we go. We'll come back in 15. All right, so now all of our items are finished flashing, so we're going to take them out of the oven and let them cool off for a bit. Once they're cooled, then we can safely apply those stencils and get the next layer of coating on. We're going to go ahead and do our first layer of stenciling. We're going to be doing a pattern that we call Dazzle. It's a really easy one to work with, especially for beginners. General rule of thumb is when it comes to camouflage, you really want to look at the camo pattern and see how it's designed. A lot of patterns, like the one we're going to do here with Dazzle, you have the colors evenly distributed, so all of the colors present will have the same amount of coverage. So to do that, we want to divide 100 by over how many layers we're going to use. So in this particular pattern, we have 3 layers of color, which means every single one of them should cover about 33% across the entire project. So let's go ahead and start pulling off some of our stencils here. These are kind of straight lines with jagged angles, kind of a design. I sort of think of them as puzzle pieces. But we're going to come through here and pull some of them off using just a simple pottery needle.
Okay.
Peel that off. And then we're going to go ahead and lay them down. And we want to kind of distribute them evenly. So you don't want a whole bunch of them packed onto the front and then the back side is very barren. You want to kind of evenly disperse them. So let's come through here and let's do this one right here. Let's see how that works out. Now Glocks are kind of easy to work with because they're mostly flat sides, but we do have some ridging right through here. Now to make sure that it's nice and flush, we're going to take our plastic razor or a credit card if you have one of those handy, and we're just going to push down to make sure that we're nice and flush against that surface there.
Okay.
That'll prevent any coating from our next layer from going up underneath that stencil, and instead of having a straight line, it'll be more of a blurry fade from one color to the next, and we don't really want that. We want to minimize that from happening. So we're just pushing down against that texture, making sure there's no lifted up areas. Looking good. Fold that down. and that stencil is good to go. Occasionally they do lift themselves up after a little bit. You just got to repress it before you start coating again. But that's it. You want to give it a try?
Sure.
Yeah, run with that one. That's a good one. In fact, I'll start layering one on one of our practice pieces. That way I can show you how to do it hands-on with my project, and then you can do it on your project.
Okay.
So we've got a simple piece here. It's a little scratched up because I kind of chucked it in there, but that's fine.
Does it like matter where you put it?
No, you just don't want them to be like super close, so that's going to be a little close for what we're wanting here. We're not going to use too many stencils across this piece because it's kind of tiny. I would lay it right through here somewhere. Maybe have a little bit coming over to the top there.
Now, what if it's like in a window like this?
That's okay, not a problem. If you want to try to press it down, you can fold it in.
Will that still work?
Let me take a look at it. Yeah, so if you push down too hard, I kind of misspoke. If you push down too hard, it'll start to curve this in. And this design is based around having very straight lines. So ultimately, I would just leave it just like that. It's not going to hurt anything. The main focus of the coating is going to be all through here, whereas that's going to have a barrel sitting right there, so it won't be visible. There we go. Yeah, go ahead and grab that one. I would say lay that right through here somewhere. Oh, it's an awesome color, one of my favorites. It's a dark, dark gray that's got a light hint of metallic to it. Makes it pop just a little bit. Alrighty, so let's do an even mix of, yeah, go ahead and put that on there. Let's do 10 of each. There you go. Now we gotta be kind of precise with this. We're only doing 10. I would say go ahead and pour it into one of these little medicine cups here so we can be more accurate with it. There you go.
Do I put it in here with this one?
Yep, go ahead and pour it right in. Tiny bit more, almost there. There we go. Awesome, so we've got an even mix of both colors. We're just gonna use the darkest color, Armor Black, for the full calculation here. So we're a little over. Let's go ahead and come in here. Let's double check it. So we might have gone into the 17:1 ratio. Let's see what that looks like. Change 17, 20.93, so we're right on the money with 17:1. If you want to, we can continue with that. It's not gonna change the gloss level too much, or we can try and mix again for an 18:1. It's up to you.
I'll keep it.
Right on. Go ahead and stir it up and we'll pour it in. There we go. And we'll use a paper filter over there, 150 mesh strainer. There we go. Great job. While you're cleaning that beaker, I'm gonna grab the lunch menus real quick.
Alrighty.
Okay, so for our additional layers of stencil, we don't need to go nearly as thick. The base coat is where you're gonna get all your protection and benefits of the Cerakote to take care of your item. The additional layers are just lipstick on a pig. It's purely cosmetic just to make it look badass. So we don't need to go as thick with it. Right now we're on regular settings. Nice even coating, looking good. I want to turn down our fluid just a little bit. There's a few different settings you can go to, but the easiest one for me to teach is just to turn down the fluid about a half turn. Let's test that out. Looking good. So you can see that it does get wet, but it's not going to stay wet for very long. It evaporates fairly quickly, and that's what we're looking for. That'll ensure a nice thin coating on there. So you can see it's wet, but quickly evaporates. We want to make sure that it does get wet. If it doesn't turn wet, it's going to become dry spray. But if we get too wet, then it gets too heavy, and you'll get thick ridges where you take off the stencil. So we got to find that perfect Goldilocks right in the middle, which I think we've got right there. So let's come over to our item here. I'm going to do mostly a straight shot right at the surface, but if I do a straight shot, there's a good chance I'll dry spray the top and the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and knock those out first and just get them over with. There we go. Nothing too crazy. We don't need to move super fast or slow. I usually tune it to just be regular speed. That way we're not trying to rush anything. There you go. All right, so now we're going to do a straight shot the rest of the way. I'm going to start along this ridge right here, and I'm just going to work my way up and down all the way around the entire piece. Regular speed. There you go. You want to bring the camera in here. You can see that it is wet, but it's not drenched or dripping, and it's quickly evaporating. That's exactly what we're looking for right there. That'll tell us that it's not going to be so thick that there'll be heavy ridging or anything like that. So that's good to go. Make sense? Yep. All right, let's go ahead and give it a shot. There you go. How's it looking over on this side? We didn't really get a direct hit over here. Spin it around. So it's all very dry right here. Come through one more time. There you go. Now we'll take care of the top portion. There you go. All right, so now we're going to start right here along this rail right here and just go straight at it. There you go. Right on. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. We're going to use the light to give us a good reading. Looking pretty good. It's a little heavy right here, but we did turn down our settings, so we might not have any ridging. I think overall it's going to be just fine. Make sure we didn't miss any spots. I think we're all set. Good job. So we'll set these here. We'll let them ambiently flash for another 15 minutes. What we're doing there is trying to make sure all the solvent is evaporated off of it, because that will turn into a higher gloss in the oven. So we're going to let it sit for a few minutes, let everything air out, and once it's just the solid coating remaining, then we'll throw it in the oven and flash it. Oh, hi there. Didn't see you there. So we've got our second coating down. We've got one more layer of stencil to go. So we're going to do the same as last time, about 33% coverage, and that'll ensure that all 3 layers of coating is going to be evenly distributed across the board. So we're not going to be too heavy on one color over another. They'll be equal. Let's go ahead and pluck this one out here. Lift that one up, and we want to cover up areas that are exposed, but also we want to overlap existing stencils as well. So we've got some stencil here and here. Let's try, that'll work, but let me tilt it this way. There we go. That way we're covering up a little bit of an open space over here. Looking good. Press that down, make sure all the lines are nice and flush. Easy peasy. Let's go ahead and grab one for you. Let's do, where's a good one? Here we go. This might be a little big, but we can play with it. So we've got a stencil here, and there's a good open space, as well as right through here. So I would lay this one right through here like that. Go ahead and try that one. There you go. Yep, focus on the ridges first. Perfect. I'll start pulling more off for you. We shouldn't need too many. These slides are pretty tiny. In fact, you can even cut your own stencils if need be. I'm probably going to do that here. All right, let's take a peek here. Looking good. Yeah, I'd say that's a good spot. Go ahead and press this area down right here. I wouldn't worry so much about here. We do want it to be flush, but it's going to get covered up by that other plate. So this is the area that we really want to focus in on, make sure it's flush. Let me find you a small one. Or here, this will work. We'll do this one next. There we go. And let's do a little something up here, as well as right here. So that weird Nike symbol is already being used on this one from the last layer. Let's go ahead and bring it over here. I would try to put the big bulky portion, that right there, right here, and just bring it right across over to here. There's a little bit of an open space right in here. We can do something with that. Let's cut this one in half, because it's got a lot of cool shapes to it, but we don't need all of it right there. So let's cut it right through there. Now this one, we'll cover up this area here. I'm not too concerned with that, and we'll just cover it so that it's not even an issue. Bam. There we go. And then for this side, I would say put this one right through there. Mash down, well actually, let's get you a different one here. More unique size, or more unique shape to it. There we go. So this will work well. We can lay this one over top so that it meets up with this stencil and then covers up this whole area. Focus on those ridges first.
Okay.
Our hook through it, right through here, and it's probably going to come through and hit that stencil, so what we can do is push it through. Let's say if we needed to, we could poke a hole through the stencil, but it looks like it's fine how it is, and we're good to go. So next color is going to be just Sniper Gray. We're not mixing it anymore, so let's shoot for 15 on the Sniper Gray. I should have asked earlier, did you shake it up already? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Plug it in, we'll give it a quick test spray. Looking good. So now we want to turn down the settings a little bit. With the fluid, I would turn it down about a quarter turn. Let's see where that gets us. So that's opening it up. We want to turn it clockwise. There we go. Tighten that down a little bit more. Keep going. A little more. There you go. Let's try that out. Looking good. Give me a pass through here. There you go. So what I'm looking for is that it's wet but evaporates very quickly. I think we're good to go. Let me double check it, and I'll do it on my piece, and then we'll move on to yours. Okay. good. So it's wet but evaporates quickly. We're good to go. So we're going to come over to my project first. And again, we're going to do a straight shot on most of it. So to keep us from getting dry spray on the top and bottom, we'll go ahead and address those first thing. I'm going to lift this up, just give it a quick pass through. Good to go. Now for the top, over here, quick spray, looking good. So it's wet but evaporates quickly, right how we want it. Now I'm just going to do a straight shot all the way around. I'm going to start on this rail here, work my way all the way around to this rail here. Just regular speed. Now, not every color permits it, but a lot of times where you're doing these additional layers, you'll still see a little bit of that yellow hue coming through from the stencil. That's a good indicator that you're not too heavy with it. As long as you're not seeing the last color really shine through, you're good to go. So that right there is just what we're looking for. Not too thick, but not too light that it's dry spray. And as you can see, it's evaporating almost instantly. Good to go. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Good deal. So go ahead and aim upward. If you want to lift it, you can. We'll hit that bottom first. There you go. Looking good. Then we'll come over top. I like to do it from this angle here and just bring it towards you. Just squeeze by you, sorry. All right. Now we're going to do a straight shot. Start on this rail and work your way all the way around. Just regular speed. Make sure you're getting up close. We don't want to be too far away. Hand width away. There you go. Beautiful. Awesome. Let's take a look on this side. It's a little bit light. Give me one more coat on that flat side and we'll be good to go. Awesome. There you have it. So the ambient flash is complete. We're going to go ahead and throw these in the oven for another 15 minutes. There you go. Just set them inside. Right on. So this is the final flash. After this is done, we'll go ahead and take off all our stencils and open up our Christmas presents. We're good to go. We've got all of our stuff done. We're not doing any more coatings on here. We want to go ahead and take off all of our stencils and see the final result. So, easiest way to do it is to peel up from underneath here. It's kind of easy with a slide, but if there's an angle where you can't really get up underneath here, we want to use our needle and very carefully try to lift up that stencil. We've got to be careful not to scratch it. We're not going to get all the full benefits of Cerakote till it's fully cured. So right now it's still very brittle. Just because this is a practice piece, I'll show you. Your fingernail can leave scratches, or even riding it across here can scratch it and remove that coating. So while we're spinning it around, taking the stencils off, instead of sliding it around, just lift it up, reposition it, and then set it back down. That way we're not going to damage it. And any stencils that we take off, you'll see a lot of flaking coming off with it. Just drop all that crap on the paper towel, and then we can just chuck it when it's all done. So we're just going to gently peel these off. There we go. And if you do see any ridging, don't be alarmed just yet. I'll show you how to get rid of some of the really light ones. Yeah, always good to take your time and be patient here. I've seen some students rush through it and then they leave scratches all over the place from their fingernails. It's the worst thing when you work so hard all day for a cool coating on it and then you ruin it at the last minute by scratching it. So just be careful. So that's where I was showing them the scratch right there. Not feeling any ridges. Little light one right here. You just ride your finger across it and usually that breaks up the small ridges and now you can't even feel it. There you go. I passed the class.
Ridging.
There you go. So we got a little bit of a ridge right here. I don't think it's anything to worry about. We're just going to take our finger and ride it across there. And a lot of times that breaks up the ridge, especially if it's really light like this one. So if you feel your finger across it now, it's not nearly as heavy. Nothing to worry about. If it was really sharp and aggressive, you can run your finger across it and break it up some, but you'll still feel a little ridge. But for small ones like that, it's no trouble at all. Yeah, any ridges you see, just ride your finger across it. You could also use a microfiber cloth if you needed to, or sometimes we'll use like a plastic brush, like a bathtub cleaner kind of brush, and just ride those bristles against it. Just never use steel wool or Scotch-Brite or anything like that. Yeah, looking good.
For the opportunity.
Yeah.
Learn.
Looking good. That's our Urban Dazzle right there. Really clean job. Right on. So what do you think? You digging it? Cool. All right, so that was the class. Jalen did a phenomenal job. Day one is really just learning the method. And day two is really just confirming everything that we learned on day one and applying it onto some custom projects. As you can see, Jalen did Urban Dazzle is the pattern, and he did a phenomenal job. No crazy ridging, nothing like that. I think he did a really good job on it, especially for being 16 hours into a new skill set. Really impressed with him. Jalen, you want to talk about your pattern and what you learned in class, how you liked it, and where you're coming from?
Hi, I'm Jalen. I'm coming from Richmond Hill, Georgia. I work at C&H Precisions. We build adapter plates and optics for firearms if you want to mount a red dot on top of your slide. But I really enjoyed the class. He taught me everything I felt I needed to know, and I'm happy to take back some new information to my team.
Good shit. Awesome job.